Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for coming here today. For the many people who don't know me, my name's Cllr Richard Kemp, and I'm one of the councillors for this ward, along with my colleagues Liz and Andrew Makinson. We're going to have three very brief interventions, and I say that as a warning to me because I am a politician and can be known, as one or two people say here, to go on a bit. So you are going to hear from Julie from the Penny Lane Development Trust. You're going to hear from me about how all this fits in to what we're trying to do to get businesses in the community going again. And then when we've unveiled it, Laura, who is the sculptor of this, is going to tell us about why she's done it and what John Lennon's statue means to her. But just first of all, I'd like to record some thanks, because this hasn't just arrived here from Mars. We've been very grateful to three companies who've given their time, effort to make sure that we could bring this safely here today. So I'd like to thank ICOM, who have advised on all the civil engineering matters, HA Civils, who've actually brought it here. They laid the base in a safe way, and we will be able to replicate this, and I'll explain why this is going to be here for 2 months. And then Paul from Elliott Bond, who did a very quick structural engineering survey on it to make sure we were doing it safely. And last but not least, Chris from The Foundry, the famous foundry in Liverpool, who's over there looking very suave and sophisticated, who not only was the original caster of this, but actually was here most of the day yesterday, putting it in place in a safe way. So that's what we're going to do this morning. So let me hand over to Julie from Penny Lane Development Trust.
Hi, thank you everyone for coming today. I'd just like to say we're absolutely delighted when Richard introduced me to Laura and suggested that the statue come here to the community centre for a short while. You know, we're in such uncertain times at the moment, and trying to open back up and get things back, you know, to what they once were is, you know, it's not going to happen for a long time. So this is just a really lovely piece of news and an amazing statue that Laura so lovingly crafted over a long period of time. And we feel honoured here on Penny Lane to have John home back on Penny Lane for a short while. And also, it's probably the first statue, I think, that we've ever had in our community. So I'd just like to say thank you to everybody who's involved in this. And hopefully, you know, it will bring some joy to our community as well as to the people who visit us here at Penny Lane. So thank you, everybody.
So why are we doing this? We're doing this because we want to bring our community and our businesses out of lockdown. We had a great time clapping for the NHS and carers. The 2-minute clap round here lasted 3/4 of an hour. It really brought the community together very strongly. We wandered around with biscuits and cakes for each other. We talked about making sure that the elderly in our community, which isn't quite me yet, I'm almost there as you can tell, but I'm trying to avoid it. It really brought our community together in a very strong way, and that's something we don't want to lose. But the organisations, the charities, the civic organisations which support this area are short of money, which we've been trying to do things to promote their activity. At the same time, most of our businesses went into total lockdown like everyone else for 2 months, but not quite, because the restaurants converted to takeaways And it was interesting, my colleagues and I have been doing a weekly newsletter, e-newsletter. You can always tell what people were looking at. Was it grand political announcements from me? No, it was which chippies were open for takeaways and home delivery. So now we're helping them in a variety of ways open up. We've had 2 farmers markets which have had community groups involved with them. We've had a craft fair up at the Mansion House. We're going to have a craft fair here on the 29th of August with 20 stalls. It's fully booked. And on the 29th of August there'll also be a food and drink festival on the whole of Allerton Road. And a really nice thing that came out of it last Friday, Bean there, who are a business at the end, used the facilities of the Mansion House of the Reader organisation up at the other end of our community and took over their facilities for a day to sell their food in the Mansion House, which was a really good way of businesses helping each other. And if I just finally say what the future of this is, it's going to be here for 2 months, but a planning application has been submitted to move this to a much more public place by St Barnabas Church at the end of Penny Lane, where it will be seen by thousands and thousands of people every single day. But that takes time, and that's why we brought it here today, so Julie can make a few bob out of it. And let me warn you, there is a collecting box, isn't there, which I'm going to be shaking around later. But we hope to move it up the street later. This has all been done in about 3 weeks because so many people have cooperated, so my thanks to them. Now this is the point where, I don't know whether you've seen pictures of the statue, you've got John with his bare-chested, looking young and virile, so I was thinking I ought to take my jacket and shirt off now. But I'm going to save the embarrassment, but Julie, let's...
I'm not taking your shoes off.
No, you're not. You might help me take this off. So let's unveil John Lennon and welcome him back to the place where he once belonged and belongs once more. I think we're strangling him at the moment, but there we go. As you can see, we've rehearsed this very carefully. Ladies and gentlemen, John Lennon. I realise he has got a vest on. Laura, come and tell us what this statue means to you.
Okay, so this statue is really not a memorial as such of John, but about his peace message. And I've been working on it for a long time, and it's been touring the country. What? Speak up. Thanks, mate. Can everybody hear me?
No. Shout at us.
Okay, this is about John's message of peace, and that's really simply it. It's not a memorial. I must also say that it's a community project, and it's to bring people together with this energy of peace. As we all know, the world's still in a mess after centuries of warring. And I'm sure John's spirit up there is thinking, why haven't we made any changes? We need to change. And also I'm hoping it will raise money for local charities. It raised $5,000 on its tour last year for War Child, which was my nominated charity at that time. So now we're going to focus on local charities. I think it's the Reader we've chosen.
The Penny Lane and the Reader.
The Reader, and we're hoping for little QR codes to go on it, so people can just scan it, go to the donation page, put a donation. So it's a working statue. It's not a statue up on a plane from some colonel from centuries ago. And so anyway, that's it basically in a nutshell. I want to say thanks to Richard for his support and spearheading this together to make it happen here. Andrew's not here for the Bean. Mick, who's been wonderfully supported by PR Man, John Booth, and Julie, of course, for accepting it here, even though it's temporary. Hi, David Bedford, lovely to see you. And everybody's support. I really appreciate it, and I just hope the energy of the statue will inspire another generation to peace, because it inspired me as a teenager in the 60s, to John and Yoko's message, and I hope the new generation will take up that baton and go for it and change our world for the better. Because it's about time. Enough is enough. We've had enough of worrying and all that, so peace and love, my generation. Thank you.
What are we asking people to do? We're asking thousands of people to come here, and if everyone
It's only a
puts
little one for
just... Oh, I was going to ask for two. There's inflation here.
Yeah,
We hope everyone
£2. Come
will
on,
put
everybody.
£2 when they
Be
come
generous.
here, and that will keep this organisation going. And later in the week, the reader will also be coming here as well. So, thank you for coming here today. That's the formal bit. Admire, talk to Laura. We're all around for a bit. Thank you so much for coming this morning to this great event.
I forgot to say thanks to Chris Butler for doing such a great cast on the statue and putting in place. Sorry, Chris, I forgot.
Okay, thanks very much.